presentation of Voices. Welcome to Voices on Monday. My name is Socrates, and I'll be your host for the next 2 hours or so. I have a very beautiful guest with us this morning, which I'll be introducing in a few. In the meantime, we normally pause to give credit first to our sponsors. We want to do that, and then invite you back. We just did that? Okay, we'll continue. So let me send some shout outs to all the folks around the globe because they're heard in various different time zones. I want to say good morning to Dr. Leader, that's Dr. Mervyn Leader, Dr. Sweeney, Mr. Val Manish, of course, and of course locally we have Sister Stephen Henry. How are you doing, Sister Henry? There's Beulah Elliott down there in Newton Ground. There is Rosemary Donald up in New York. There's Amber Richards in Anguilla. We heard around the region. There's our very own friend of the Federation, Ms. Brenda O'Neill, up there in South Carolina. And of course, we want to send condolences to the family of the late, we used to call him Culture.
Yes, Culture.
Winston. He was a cyclist, and he passed over the past few days. He was an ardent supporter of many of the programs. He was a friend of winnfm, and we want to say condolences to his family. And, may his soul rest in peace. But as I said, we're locked and loaded for another presentation of Voices. With us this morning, we have a very, I won't say famous, but an esteemed herbalist with us in the studio in the name of Victoria Booker. And she'll be walking us through a number of, a conversation about herbal, holistic remedies. I think she's immensely qualified for this. She will speak to you in more detail about her research, what she does, her outreach, and the clientele, and some of the testimonials from folks that she's worked with. So without further ado, I'm going to say good morning to you, Victoria, and the mic is yours, the audience is yours.
Good morning to you, Socrates, and to our audience. And of course, I always want to give thanks to the Most High, Yahuwah, for waking us up this morning. So today, I'm sure you are most of you should be familiar with me by now because I'm always talking about herbal remedies. And today, I have 2 topics that I'm going to discuss before I start talking about herbal remedies or solutions. The first was the EMP, the electronic magnetic pulses or the radiation that is really affecting our health through our phones and our computers. Unfortunately, I won't be able to talk too much about this because the information, my research that I have is on another computer, which is malfunctioning right now. And when I went on the internet to try to get more information, I saw that a lot of information about this has been, I don't know if the word deleted is the correct word, but it's not there. So I can't really talk about it a lot. But I do have another topic that is equally as important. But I still wanted to say, I was reading something about this from this doctor, and he was talking about his son had a lot of inflammation, recurring inflammation in his knees. And they tried everything to find a cure for the son's problems with his knees.
Where was this?
This is in the United States.
In the US? Okay.
And what happened, so all of a sudden it came to him after trying all of these different methods to cure his son that it was probably the Wi-Fi antenna that was right next to his son's computer. And when they removed the antenna, then they realized that the inflammation gradually was removed from his son's knees. And I came here before on Socrates' show and I talked about it, but at that time I had the information. I had done the research. I had the documentation from reliable sources that said that, yes, having that phone
There's a connection.
on your body is going to cause you problems, and that you should not have it, and you should not be having that phone when you're talking on it near your ear. Have it on speaker, and even the Bluetooth, these things that they're putting people in their ears. That's not very healthy either, because they're finding out that that's also causing problems. But unfortunately, because it's a money-making venture,
Mass marketing.
it's
major
not
marketing,
going to be it's going to sell. And so it's going to be up to us to try to take care of ourselves, excuse me, and get as much information as we can.
So, what is said to the many young persons, and I would say a lot of young women, who are walking around with their cell phones in their pockets close to the breast, in their seat pocket, etc. I just can't say to them because it's their life, but what do you say to them from an informed position?
I tell them all the time. A lot of times now we have so many young women with so many problems, health problem, asthma. It's not just infertility, it's other things. They're coming down with cancer, diabetes, young people, and a lot of this is caused by your chest or on you right there or in your back pocket. And it's causing problems, serious problems. With men, it's causing erectile dysfunction because that radiation is affecting them. But once again, as I said, I don't have the information here, but I have something else to talk to you all about that is equally as dangerous or even more so than the phones, and that is microplastics. I know a lot of you may not even know what is a microplastic, but do you know a lot of this plastic is leaching out into our system, and it's coming, and it's actually now affecting, it's in our brain, it's in our organs, and it's causing us serious damage. And I'm glad to know that right now St. Kitts and Nevis have now banned the single-use plastics.
That's correct.
Which is very good, and I commend them very much for taking a step to alleviate and to get these dangerous pieces of plastic away from us. But microplastics are tiny plastic particles less than 5 millimeters in size that have been found in various human organs and tissues, including the lungs, the blood.
How do we come in contact with them? How does one be aware that these things are in the environment?
Well, they say that particles enter the body through ingestion, inhalation, and potentially through the skin. While the long-term health effects of microplastics on humans are still being investigated, studies suggest potential links to oxidative stress, inflammation, and various diseases, including those affecting the reproduction system. And then, of course, you know, the neurological health. And then, according to Stanford report, they're in the water we drink, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, and the air we breathe. They pervaded every ecosystem in the world, from the coral reefs to the Antarctic ice. They even infiltrated the human bodies and lodged themselves in everything from our brain tissues to our reproductive organs.
I'm hooking on the comment you made about ingestion. I'm really concerned about that particular aspect of it. Well, I know back in the day, the polyester was a whole issue, but you said that the microplastics, we ingest it?
Yes.
In foods?
And food, and even through our skin. So the clothes.
Give me an example about ingesting short food products.
Okay, here we have it here. The most recent research suggests a potential link between a microplastic and erectile. Oh no, that's the erectile dysfunction. Okay, when we have these plastic containers where we have, okay, let's Ziploc bags. A lot of people use Ziploc bags and they know not to use them in microwaves anymore because the heat and the plastic is very dangerous. But people still use the Ziplocs to freeze their foods. And that also is very dangerous because that's how these microplastics are
Seeps
able
into the
it gets into the food and then we eat it. The same way when we are drinking water without plastic bottles.
That would be affected by certain temperature.
Well, the Ziploc bags, yes, if
In
that
the freezers, yeah,
that
whatever, in the
freezing
fridge.
because you're freezing it, right? Now, at the same time, though, anything plastic, it starts to leach into whatever okay, if you have it in your refrigerator, you have a pitcher of juice. You're drinking that juice. That's leaching into your body. They can get into our bodies in so many different ways. And as I said, also in the air that we breathe, in the water. We don't have any control over that because we are not unless you have a water filter, which is what I'm trying to encourage everyone to have right now, to make sure you get a water filter, because these microplastics, they are so dangerous that they're causing a lot of problems for men, women, children, all human, and even animals.
Okay. We are at this point. We're going to pause for a bit of station ID.
Okay.
We return and continue the conversation.
Okay.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Need to get your goods to St. Kitts and Nevis? Look no further. TDC Shipping has you covered with reliable cargo solutions by land, air, and sea. Whether it's a package from across the world or a large shipment of goods, TDC Shipping makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free. And with our airbox service, ordering from your favorite online stores just got even easier. Ship straight to your mailbox and let TDC Shipping handle the rest. Fast, secure, and even to your door. Visit us today at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Park or Penny's Industrial Site, or call 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis. TDC Shipping, where reliable service meets unbeatable convenience. TDC, together we succeed.
Campari, Red Passion, embrace the mix.
Campari, Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink, Campari, Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari!
Campari Red Passion, embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beats in every soul, a feeling we cannot It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart, who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping.
To our viewers and listeners, we want to welcome you back to today's presentation of Voices. And our guest today for the first half is the Lady Victoria Bookham. And we're discussing, she's a herbalist, but we're talking about microplastics and how they affect our health, the microwaves from the telephones and the proximity to our bodies and what we should or should not do. We want to continue that in that vein of conversation, but later on, we really want to get into the herbal remedies and that testimony that we've had for many years from many of your clientele.
Yes. Okay, let me continue with the microplastics.
Let me get in there a second. You spoke about giving the government credit for enforcing the use of single plastic, right? What does the average person in the street, how do they deal with this new information? Well, it's not new. How do they become aware and cognizant of the damages of the microplastic and how they interact, how they come into contact with it? Because we go about our days just happy-go-lucky, not really paying attention to these really minute issues. So is the awareness for what you're discussing now, how does one get to that state where they are aware and incorporate it in their daily practices?
Well, actually, you right now are contributing to the education of the nation about the dangers of the microplastics.
Okay.
I don't hear any information from anywhere else right now, and it may be information circulating, but I don't hear about it. And I think that it has to be addressed. This situation has to be addressed because when you look at what's going on with the health of the nation, it's declining. I'm seeing more young people sick. I'm seeing babies sick. And I'm seeing older people who are, when I came here, people were living to be 100 years old and even older.
We have a few of those still.
Yeah, we have a few of them. But I still, I listen to the death announcements. Mm-hmm. And I'm listening to the ages of the people who are dying. And they're dying of cancer, diabetes, heart attacks, strokes, aneurysm, all of these type of things, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are we're being contaminated. It's because of what these plastics and this radiation is doing to us. But no one is really addressing these issues. You can't just give me a pill and tell me I need to take this pill because I have a headache. What's causing my headache? What's causing my pressure to increase all the time? What is causing these things? Something has to be causing our bodies to respond the way it's happening, what's happening to it.
You would find this across the region. Say you go to Trinidad, you go to, say, Dominica, you'll find the same symptoms affecting the
Absolutely. What I find in the Caribbean is that we are just not being given the information that is out there. Now, the United States is also not as up to par as it should be. Europe is much more inclined to educate their population about the dangers of the pesticides and the plastics and the radiation than we are in the United States and in the Caribbean.
So there are warning labels on certain food items that you would have to, you have to better inform, educate yourself.
Absolutely. And not only that, if you look at it, Europe does not allow a lot of the foods from the United States to be even exported into their countries.
Okay. Are we a people who take the time out to read warning labels?
No. I think the only thing we're starting to read is the expiration date.
So there lies a major part of the problem because these companies would put these warning labels in the fine print.
Yes.
This is to avoid later on any kind of litigation.
Right. And if the label is even on it, mm-hmm. because some things there's not. Look on your phone. Do you see anywhere that says that this is good, could cause you danger on your phone?
You have to go online to find that. They tell you now to go online and read.
Yes, you go online, but it's
Right.
not there on your phone.
But it's part of
And how many people, and another thing, I think that we have the society that we're in now, they are more into seeing, like TikTok, this really fast kind of information here, 5 minutes, and then it's gone. And now your brain is on another subject, and it's gone. We're not reading the way we used to
How
read.
do we get to the point as a people to build that awareness? Do we work with the Department of Education, the Ministry of Health, etc.? Because the marketing that you're up against is mega. You mentioned your phone, the TikToks, the various platform that people just go and buy an item because it is fashionable.
Yes.
But the awareness about the health hazards of these products and the use of them, the proximity to a body, who takes care of that?
As you said, it has to be the government.
A collaboration of?
It has to be NGOs. It even has to be, to me, I think the supermarkets.
But what are people listen?
Well, okay, for example.
That's the biggest hurdle as far as I'm concerned.
Let me tell you. In America, like in Costco's and different health food stores, they will have little stands up where they're going to market a different brand of food or something, right? And they give out the different, they give little samples so that people can buy them. Well, in the health food stores, some of them, though, will give you information, though, about the benefits of it. So we could do the same thing here when we have food coming in here, but see, that's not going to be profitable.
There you go.
So then, therefore, it's going to be education. And our libraries, what is the purpose of the library here now? What is that purpose? I used to love the libraries. One of the things, because I love books, I still like to actually open a book and read. I really used to enjoy that. Well, they removed the library in Sandy Point because I used to go to that. That's not there.
You can now go online and be your own doctor, find your own cure.
Oh,
et
yeah,
cetera, et
right,
cetera, et cetera.
right. But I'm saying, how come we don't have our libraries equipped where they could have little seminars where people could come in and learn about these dangers that are affecting us?
Do you find that happening elsewhere?
In America, in the libraries, oh my goodness, the libraries are that's the go-to place.
Okay.
They have seminars, they have all kind of things. Well, actually, one of the places where one of my distributors in the United States of my health food, of my medicinal products, he has a vegan restaurant. And he also has a place right next to the restaurant where he has all kind of seminars on health, all kind of health issues. And he has professionals coming in, and they are addressing the things that are happening to the public. And now it's more and more people are coming, even people who still eat meat. I eat meat. But the information that I can gain from these professionals who have done the research and it attracts a lot of young people as well.
I find it comes down to culture. We don't have a culture of thinking in that holistic manner where we are buying products and they have certain, what shall I say? There are certain products that have things that are detriment to our health. But we're not really told that way up front in a manner to make us aware. And so we just buy the product and we go along. Even with food items. We've been told for years that certain foods are detrimental to your health, but we still do. A little joke. Say, okay, fella, pork is bad for you. Hey, my grandfather eat pork until. I eat pork until, and so it doesn't matter. So it comes down to culture.
Yes.
But I would like us to go, we're due for break shortly, but speak to the healing aspect.
Okay.
This is where you're coming with the hermal.
Okay.
holistic remedies, because people present to you certain ailments that are caused maybe by these very things that you're talking about.
Okay.
So it's a healing part of it we want to deal with, and then after that we're going to open the lines to entertain calls from the public.
Okay. Well, okay, first of all, these microplastics is causing erectile dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
It's also causing infertility in both men and women.
And you have ways of dealing with that?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
This is why I'm talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They've done some research and found out that it's probably also contributing to cancer. And so what I've done is we have created medicinal products to deal with issues that are affecting us the most. And I found with the erectile dysfunction and the prostate for men is a very serious problem. And a lot of times men do not go and are not checked up for their prostate. And when they start having problems with the erectile dysfunction, or they're becoming impotent, they're ashamed
to go,
of it.
And
Because
so they try to self-medicate?
yes.
Or they find you?
But they do come find us. And in fact, what happened the last time I was on your program and I was talking about the erectile dysfunction,
You got a lot of clients, people start calling?
oh my goodness! And this one guy came, client, and
About how old?
well, he was about, what is he? Maybe in his late 50s.
Okay.
And after he got our products, he called me about 2 weeks later, and he told me, my wife is so pleased that finally, after a year, I was able to please her twice. I was like, oh, really? He said, yes, it's working. It is really working.
It is
and
working.
then another person had enlarged prostate and kidney stones. And he sent me his...
This is getting exciting. So what we're going to do, better pause one more time to give a credit to Caesar.
Okay.
All the folks who wait and hang on what's happening next.
Okay.
And then we'll come back, we'll get you engaged once again, and then open the phone lines.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Okay.
This is the part of...
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart, who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping.
Carpets and tiles. It's the home and building that road. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC, home and building that road.
To our viewers and listeners, welcome back once again to today's presentation of Voices, and Victoria Bookham is in the house. We're discussing things that relates to her health, and for the many persons up there who have been listening, I want to hear about the cures for ED.
I tell you, this erectile dysfunction. Well, we have several things for that. We have our digestive care, and this is a T. But the major products that we have is we use our tinctures. And in the tinctures, I have one that's Man Better Man. The other one have the Touch Me Not. And the other one is the Stinging Nettle, mainly for the prostate. Now, I found that when men use both the Touch Me Not and the Man Better Man as a tincture, and these are stronger than when you're just using your loose leaf teas. They get into your bloodstream immediately if you take it under your tongue, and it does work. And what happens is that I find that a lot of men really, really like this. And I don't know how long it takes. Now, I haven't done the research. As I said, this young man the guy who told me, I was just talking about the client, he said within a 2-week period, he noticed that it was working for him.
And his wife was happy.
And his wife was happy. I've had other clients, men who come, and they don't necessarily talk so much about, but they continue to come and get the product because it's working for them. But they want to make sure that they have it on hand in case, because once again, remember, we're being inundated with these microplastics. We got the radiation from the phone and the computer and the Wi-Fi and all of these things, right? So you have to keep your body, you have to saturate your body with these herbs in order to combat all of these harmful effects from these external elements that are affecting us. Now, I had another testimony I want to talk about. This roster came to me, and he was having real serious problems with his prostate and kidney stones. And then after he took the products, I gave him the Leaf of Life tincture. I gave him the Stinging Nettle, and the aromatic detox, which purifies your blood and removes the toxins from your body. He actually sent me a copy of his ultrasound.
I was going to get to that. I wanted to ask if these are persons who have gone to the standard medical facilities,
yes,
spoken to the doctors, the
yes,
oncologists, etc., and then decide for whatever reason to come to you instead.
Yes,
did they present the medical history to you in conversation?
Yes, they do. In fact, and so he is so happy about that because the prostate was really bothering him with the frequent urination, the pain that he was having, and then the kidney stones, and to have that removed, and he'd gone to other health practitioners for assistance and for much more money, and he wasn't getting the results that he was getting with us. There's a older gentleman, he must be in his 70s, and once again, from listening to us, he called me, and he was having all kind of problems in his body. And then he had problems with his eyes. So he couldn't come to me, so I had to go to him out there in Lodge.
Pause a second. We're going to open up the phone lines for those who want to engage in this conversation. They can actually speak to you directly.
Yes.
Because I want you to speak more about your background, how you got involved in this because you speak about the tinctures of this and that, the man better man, the touch me not, sing little. These are things that we would have grown up hearing about
Yes.
as a black people, and we know our elders were able to apply these in medicinal form. So for the person who just hearing about you for the first time, I want you to get into that aspect of it.
Okay.
So you want to be able to build your confidence, not only from testimonials of folks you've worked with, but she knows she's talking about because this bush and that bush, but it's how you prepare it and how you present it.
Okay.
Right? So 662-0989, 762-0989. The lines are open for those who wish to call Victoria and learn more about what she does, where she can be found, etc., etc. The lines are open. In the meantime, Victoria, go ahead.
Okay. Well, when I came here, I had a number of problems, and I was trying to address them when I was in the United States.
You mean physical problems?
Yes.
Not immigration problems?
No immigration problems, no. I was trying to address them in the United States, and I used to go to this place called Whole Foods, and I used to spend a lot of money buying the different products that they had, and they did not work for me. And then when I got here, and I met Sidney, my husband. He wasn't my husband at the time. And he started having me drink all of these different herbs, right? And of course, I started feeling better. I didn't like some of the herbs because most, like the neem, he really had me drinking a lot of neem.
You don't like it?
It was bitter. Americans, we don't like bitter stuff. We don't like that too much, but I drank it, and then I went to the United States in 2014 and had a complete physical. And at the time, I had a diseased liver. It was not a fatty liver. It was a diseased liver. And I must tell you, at the time, I used to abuse pain relievers, and it really had done a number to my liver. And then I had all of these fibroids, and the doctors were saying that I needed to have a hysterectomy. I was dealing with depression. I had
caller. Okay, good day, caller. You're live on Voices. Thanks for your call.
Hey, Victoria, it's Brenda. How are you?
Hi, Brenda. How are you doing?
Awesome and amazing. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
I can attest to you. My birthday group came and we had an amazing time with you, and everyone is doing well, and everyone is happy, and everyone is excited for when I come back on the 4th to up our supply again of your amazing products.
Thank you so much, and it was so good to have you all come here as Americans and to actually be able to see where the plants are grown and how we grow our products, so that you all knew that these don't have any chemicals in it, and to become acquainted with the bush that we have here that we don't have in America. And the fact that you all were able to use them and to see that it actually worked for you is a real great testimony in terms of the efficacy of the herbs that we possess here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I'm forever grateful to you. In fact, I got some other products that I'm working on. I'm in the experimental stage of it right now, but as soon as I know that they are ready, I'm going to let you and the ladies know about it, and I think it's going to be something that you all are going to really be happy to have.
Okay, well, tell Sydney I'll see you guys in about 2.5 weeks, okay?
Okay, I will do, Brenda. And once again, we really appreciate you bringing all of these Americans to our beautiful country.
Oh, and they want to come back so soon,
okay.
soon.
Well, we look forward to you. See you.
Thank you for that, our first caller. Okay. Yes, Victoria, talk about it. Continue, please. Well, that's not the call, but continue.
So as I said, I went to America and I had a complete physical. And the most amazing thing was my liver was completely regenerated because it was so bad at that point. We were thinking that I might have to. I've never had sugar problems since. No cholesterol problems since. The only thing now that I still have to address is my hypertension, and I realize why I still deal with that. Now, what I did find out, though, that I take that keeps it manageable unless I have too much salt or too much sugar or I do things that I'm not supposed to, is that prickly pear and the garlic. Oh, my goodness. I drink that every day. I drink it like
pear,
3-4 times
some people call
a
it
day.
cassie.
Huh?
Some people call it cassie.
Cassie? Is that what they call it? The prickly pear?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Let me tell you, that thing is amazing. I'm trying to do other products with it now. That's my favorite plant in the whole, well, so is the noonie. Yeah, the noonie. I do something with the noonie too. I do a noonie leather, and that noonie leather is like a colon cleanser. It's just going to clean you. It's going to remove whatever waste that's in your gut and your colon that is not supposed to be there.
I'm noting your animation how much you come alive when you're speaking about these products because you actually lived and proved it. You spoke about your liver was diseased, all the various things, going back to your doctors in the U.S. and their surprise and the curiosity as to what, how, etc. So, look at your face. You're beaming because you've actually lived these experiences. So you became your own healer, so to speak. Of course, with the husband I'm guiding you through. You've done your research on the products that you offer to the public. You have a client base who comes back and swear that the erectile dysfunction is gone. The colon issues are disappearing, etc. So
and not only here, this same vegan restaurant that also is into health. When I go there to America and I'm going back, I have a booth there. And man,
your product is sold there?
Oh my God, those people love it. They love it. They're calling me, asking me, when are you coming back? We want more. We want more of these. And so the reason why I have to go back, though, is because although I can mail like the teas and the leather, I can't mail the noonie. That's why I'm going back. I just came back. I was there in March, in April. And I'm going back in July.
How do people find you? How do they get in touch with you?
Okay. I have several ways you can get in touch. grow.skn@gmail.com. I just updated my LinkedIn. I had the knowledge. He grew up with this. I didn't. But what happened, I do the research to make sure that it is safe for the public since we're dealing with the public.
Yep.
Because some things you can't take, because, you might be allergic to it or things like that.
So you have that. That's part of the consultation?
Yes.
You find out about who's allergic to this or that before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then I prescribe what I think would be appropriate for that person to take.
And then you monitor by they calling you? How do you follow up on that?
Yes. I will call them or they call me. But most time when it works, they don't call me back. They just
most time.
They just
most time when it works.
unless they want some more. But some people may have a more difficult or something that's even worse than most people. So it needs to the organs and to do the work that it's supposed to do.
Do you ever have any products?
And at that point, I really did control my hypertension. And I don't know what happened with me. All of a sudden, I just got this cheese craze. Next thing I know, I was eating cheese every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was going crazy off of cheese. It was like, So then I had to say, okay, you know what? I have to go back to where what I know works for me. A little bit of cheese, but it wasn't just a little bit. This was on a daily basis. I was going to the store just buying cheese, and I was like making all kind of stuff with cheese.
Cheese crave.
So diet is very important. I'm not lying. And exercise, that's another thing. I got into this cheese and ice cream. It was like I was trying to undo everything. No. This is what happened.
So diet is very important.
I went into America and I got crazy. And I was eating everything that I should not. Next thing I know, I got all of this stomach. And you know what? Women who got a big belly and you got hypertension, do not think it's going to go away. You have to lose that belly. And you got to do that through diet and exercise. You must exercise. I started my exercise again, and I feel better. And this is important, your diet and exercise. If you don't do those two things, then you cannot expect the herbs to do everything for you.
In conjunction with the medicine that you're taking, because as I pointed out, those who may say that this or that didn't work is because you continue in the same vein of what you were eating before and expect a little tincture here and there to be a miracle cure.
It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's going to make you feel a little better, but it's not going to work.
So, not along with the what you recommend, there has to be that discipline.
They have to have a diet and they have to exercise. You have to exercise this heart. This heart is a muscle, and it needs to exercise. It needs to exercise. Your whole body needs to exercise, and it's also the way you breathe.
Okay. Do you have anybody who presents with, say, migraine?
Migraine.
You have a conversation about migraine. How would you address it?
Okay, that's an interesting thing because Sydney, who loves sugar, and as a farmer, I think he was raised on something called sugar water to give them energy that they need
yes.
in order to stay out there in the field. And as a result, it also gives him migraine. And I found that ginger is lovely for migraines. You just make a ginger tea. And what we do with the aromatic detox, because the aromatic detox is removing them toxins and it's purifying your blood, because your blood sends oxygen to your organs, which they need, like your heart and your brain. It needs that oxygen. So when you do that with your ginger, that helps relieve the migraines. Now, if you're finding out, though, that you have chronic migraines, then once again, we have to look at your diet and see what is causing these things to happen. Are you also exercising? As I said, all of that's very important. But I found that ginger, along with the aromatic detox, which has the neem in it, it will help those migraines because it's flushing that blood.
What are your thoughts on moringa? Folks who just buy moringa.
It will help those migraines because it's flushing that blood.
What are your thoughts on moringa? Folks who just buy moringa or pick it from a tree and use it, self-medicate.
Okay.
Yes, moringa is more natural.
They're still saying like cheese will do the same thing. If you have hypertension and you're eating cheese, that cheese is hardening them arteries. It's blocking the arteries. And see,
moringa does the same thing
with that calcium. Now that's only for those who have hypertension. If you don't have hypertension, you can drink. You can use your moringa, but you still have to be moderate with it, because the thing is, it has so many vitamins and nutrients in it, and a lot of these things you already getting in your other foods, so you don't want to overdo it, because what happens is then you're going to find that you're going to invite other type of problems
Stress on the body.
on the body. Yes. So I tell people who want to do the moringa, and if you have, like I said, if you have problems with hypertension, a couple of the leaves. Just chew on some of the leaves, but don't be making no big old a pot of. Because after a while, you're going to start finding out that your hypertension is increasing and you don't know why.
All right. This.
And it's just like with people who have diabetics. I love the prickly pear. I love that. However, it has a lot of potassium in there. And people who are diabetic, they should not have a lot of potassium. This is why you don't have a whole lot. You're not supposed to eat a lot of bananas or anything that is loaded with potassium, because then it's going to affect the kidneys.
What about cucumbers?
Now cucumbers. I find that I'm going to tell you the truth. With cucumbers, I use that mainly for skincare. I have not really done a lot of, I guess because of my prickly pear, but I will do some research on that, because I'm thinking if a person has diabetes and they cannot do the prickly pear, the cucumber should be an alternative for them. But I have to do the research on that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Got about 2 minutes before 11, so we're going to take time now to pause. And once again, give credit to Caesar. And then we return, we continue the conversation.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
If you need insurance, our service is the best. Home motor insurance can give you more for less. Property insurance can save you a lot of stress. At TDC Insurance Company Limited, we care about your investment. Guarantee you peace of mind. The best team in the business. Guarantee you peace of mind. No other company will guarantee you peace of mind. Together we'll succeed and guarantee you peace of mind. TDC Insurance Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less.
Campari. Red Passion. Embrace the mix.
Campari Red Passion, full action, this is Red Passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari Red Passion, make the nicest mix. Campari.
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
We're different. We're different.
1175, and have a blessed day.
There you go, short and sweet. And I know you're going to get some more calls, because like last time you were here, you had a lot of folks to call, and I was happy that they were able to contact you and find remedies. So while you make your exit, we want to say thank you. Have a safe day. I'm going to meet you in the circus later on.
Excuse
we
me?
have in the circus.
Uh-huh.
Probably meet you there after the presentation. Have a little chit chat with you.
Okay.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
Attention, St. Kitts and Nevis. The countdown is on and time is running out. This is your final call, your last chance to save big at Hostos Automotive during our VAT Off Drive On Blowout event. It's your final call, your last chance to get up to $15,000 in total savings. No down payment, free servicing for 12 months, free bill of sale, $1,000 in groceries, or 3 months of free gas, free registration, licensing, tinting, and accessories, and 4% VAT VAT off on top of it all. Yes, you've heard right. Everything free and 4% VAT off. But listen closely. This incredible sale ends when June ends. No extensions, no do-overs. This is your final call. Your last chance for the biggest auto sales saving for the year. So don't walk, run to Hostos Automotive now. Your dream car is waiting, and these deals are ready to roll. Hostos Automotive, where affordability meets the road. Terms and conditions apply.
At 3 minutes past the hour, that's 11 o'clock, we're once again presenting in the second half of today's episode of Voices, and we have the second guest for the day who just joined us in the person of Ras Kalonji, no stranger to the airways of WinFM, and he brought with him another guest. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself first, and then you can introduce your guest, and then we take it from there. Fair enough?
Okay, greetings, Brother Socrates, and greetings to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. What Granny say, it's time for Africans to unite, and we're here basically spreading the word of the unification of all African people, but we're starting right here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
The African Consciousness Movement and the Movement for National Unity. We're saying that our people have to unite because we see what is taking place geopolitically, and now we have this escalation with the war now between Israel and Iran, and things are going to get more drastic and more serious. But before I go any further, I just love to introduce Brother Jakasha.
Yes, greetings, blessed love to the radio land, listeners far and wide. My name is the Honorable Priest Jermaine, aka Jakasha. I'm also a member of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, and I'm here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. In solidarity with, I'm also here in this Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis in solidarity what's taking place in Burkina Faso, and I'm here to also help to facilitate the rallies that are taking place here in St. Kitts. Thank you.
Perfect introduction on the side. Now we go into to this presentation. Ras.
Well, basically the presentation, what we're talking about, we have been holding some rallies from since, you could say, it started we have been since the rally that was called in support of Brother Abraham Traore.
What year?
Brother Abraham Traore, on April 30th, when we had the global solidarity rally in support of Brother Abraham Traore. We have continued since on this past Friday, where we keep in every second Friday of the month and every last Friday of the month. We hosting rallies in solidarity with the Sahel states and Brother Abraham Traore in particular, because we see that the imperialist forces is out to not only liquidate him, but obliterate the Sahel states also. So we are organizing around that particular situation with the Sahel states, we want to organize our people here to support the Pan-African wallet. The Pan-African wallet basically is a digital wallet where we want to organize a cooperative here and pool our monies together. You understand? So that we could invest in the Pan-African wallet where they could raise the gold reserves in the Sahel states so we could get our own African currency. Because as long as your money is backed by gold, you understand, it doesn't lose its value. You see? Not only that, we also want to organize our people and mobilize them around sending a delegation to Burkina Faso so that we could get our citizenship. You understand? So this is a serious thing. So at the moment, we're mobilizing and organizing our people to get involved so that we could make direct links. Well, we have direct links with Burkina Faso right now. But then we want to extend it to the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. So we could be citizens of the Sahel states and Burkina Faso, and they being citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis also.
Okay.
But Jacques, you could come in from there.
All right. I just want to continue where Raskalunji left off. I'm going to read from the flyer that we actually have out right now. The mega meetings of Africa First and the AES SKN in support of Abraham Toure, AES/Africa. The next event will be on June 27th from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. The African Village, the Circus Bar Stay St. Kitts. For more information, call 668-1992 every second and last Friday monthly. Now, to continue with what Ras Kalunji was stating about us developing ourselves to a point where we can be citizens of Burkina Faso. As you know, we have the opportunity where we can be dual citizens. Like for instance, I myself am a dual citizen. I was born in the U.S., Virgin Islands. I'm also a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. So there is opportunity for us as African people to link with Africa, and we could also definitely get, like I'm stating, citizenship and be able to contribute, monetarily to the funds, to what is taking place in Africa. Like, for instance, we have the situation in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, where they come and they take in, control of their own resources. That is the gold and the different resources that are in the land. And that is particularly now backed by the monetary system of gold and all these things where they're going to be developing their own dollar. You understand? Now, the American dollar today is not really backed by anything. The President Nixon took the dollar off of the gold reserve. Right now, in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, we use an EC dollar. The EC dollar is pegged to the US dollar. It's not like the Jamaican dollar or the Guyanese money or whatever. It's pegged, meaning wherever the market goes with the US dollar, there's where our money goes. So if the money is high, our money is high. If the money is low, then our money is low. The economy is hand in hand, basically. So what we are stating is this. If America goes through a crisis where they fall and the American dollar is weakened,
our faith is tight, linked with this.
It is, our money is also being weakened in this territory, where we use the EC dollar.
Okay. First question is, has the welcome mat been extended to us here in St. Kitts, Nevis, the World Caribbean?
In terms
the
of?
welcome mat. You said that we can apply for our passports, etc. But has the welcome mat been extended? For the folks who don't know and have questions, I want you to describe if the welcome mat has been extended to St. Kitts Nevis nationals, Antigua and Barbudans, etc.
All of us in the diaspora.
Has it been stated that we're welcome?
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Don't say, well, we're supposed to know. or to speak to the specifics of that?
I would say that, it is left not only to us, the citizens, but to the politicians who actually in that seat. You understand? You have a foreign minister of foreign affairs. You understand? These are the individuals that are actually supposed to be going out.
Supposed to be.
On the behalf of the populace. You understand me? And anything that we have here in St. Kitts, just like when they come around or whatever for your votes, you understand? They're actually supposed to now come around and have town hall meetings and these things, listen to the affairs and the cries of the people,
and
we then you
lobby for that.
Exactly.
It's not going to come from them.
And we lobby for it, but they can represent us because they are the representee. You understand me? Especially within the UN and all of these places.
I got you. Because when you say they're supposed to, a lot of stuff they're supposed to do, they won't.
But Socrates, I just want to let the groundwork so people got a proper understanding what is facing.
Correct.
Us, right? So listen to this.
If you wanted to stop Africa from becoming a superpower, you wouldn't have to invent a new strategy. The blueprint has already been written, tested, and perfected over centuries. You'd start by making sure Africa never unites. The easiest way to do that is by keeping people divided along ethnic, tribal, and religious lines. If they ever start working together, remind them of past grievances. Stoke old wounds. Fund separatist movements. Keep border disputes unresolved. Make sure every time they take one step forward, they take 2 steps back because they're too busy fighting each other. You'd install leaders who serve foreign interests, not their people. Find the most corrupt, the most easily manipulated, the ones who crave wealth and status more than progress. Offer them power in exchange for loyalty. If a leader rises who actually cares about Africa, get rid of them. Assassinate them if necessary. But if that's too messy, just destabilize their government and back a coup. If they talk about nationalizing resources, make an example out of them. If they try to unite Africa, take them out before the idea spreads. You'd keep Africa economically weak by making sure it never industrializes. Let them export raw materials, but never process them themselves. Control the mines, the oil fields, the rare earth minerals. Keep them selling cheap and buying expensive. If a country tries to break free and build its own industries, sabotage it. Place sanctions, destabilize its currency, fund local opposition, crash its economy. If that doesn't work, orchestrate a civil war. People can't build when they're too busy trying to survive. You'd make sure their education system produces workers, not innovators. Teach them history that glorifies their oppressors. Make them think their cultures are primitive. Their ancestors were savages. Their future depends on foreign approval. Train them to memorize, not to think critically. Keep their best and brightest looking overseas for opportunities. Make them dream of escaping Africa rather than fixing it. Offer scholarships that take their top minds to the West and never encourage them to return. Let the continent keep training doctors and engineers only for them to go enrich other nations. You'd control their narratives. Own their media, control their stories, dictate their image to the world. Make them believe they are corrupt, hopeless, eternally in crisis. Flood their screens with poverty porn and war zones. Show them charity ads that make them believe they are helpless without foreign aid. Downplay their successes. Twist their victories into isolated incidents. If an African country develops a groundbreaking innovation, credit a foreign investor. If an African leader implements a successful policy, frame it as an anomaly rather than proof of competence. You'd make sure they remain dependent. Drown them in debt. Offer loans with impossible conditions. Force them to privatize everything so foreign corporations own their water, their electricity, their land. When they struggle, give them just enough aid to keep them alive, but never enough to make them self-sufficient. Use charities to create a culture of reliance rather than resilience. Make them think foreign intervention is necessary, that they can't solve their own problems, that they always need help from the outside. You'd suppress their military strength. Keep their armies weak, their defense industries non-existent. Sell them weapons to fight each other, but never let them develop high-tech military technology. If a country tries to build a strong defense system, accuse them of being a threat to stability. Make sure they always need foreign peacekeepers, foreign military bases, foreign advisors controlling their security. Them vulnerable to invasion, coups, and foreign interference. The formula is simple. Divide, corrupt, exploit, miseducate, control. Keep them fighting each other. Keep them looking outside for solutions. Keep them poor, dependent, insecure. Make sure every attempt to break free is met with resistance so strong that the next generation thinks twice before trying again. This isn't a theory. It's history. The real question isn't how to stop Africa from becoming a superpower. It's how Africa can break the cycle despite every effort to keep it down.
Okay. At this point, we do have to salute our sponsors once again, but when we come back, we're going to discuss that playbook that has been tried, tested, and proven to work. We know it's there, and I want to thank you guys for bringing it to the attention to the wider public, but we do have to entertain a station break at the moment. Okay. What you played just now for us, Rascal and G, it's a playbook that has been perfected and known to work on Africa as a target and the African people, right? So the education and awareness that you're trying to bring, right, is how to push back against that system that has worked. This is mainly why you guys are here. And I do appreciate that because I am really into this in a big, big way. I could say, well, I know that, but this is not about me. It's about the folks that we need to reach and bring this awareness because we're still separate from Africa. I was asked this morning by Victoria, who I wanted to be here for a reason, because she wanted to engage you. She was at the circus last Friday and has some thoughts, etc. And she asks about other cultures. I said, because we in St. Kitts, we are not Africans. We convince ourselves or find reasons to say we're not Africans. So until we identify with that problem as being our own, you're going to have issues. So I want to thank you for the education and the awareness you bring in. They'll take a station break when they're ready. But in the meantime, you guys can continue.
Well, it's a good question that you pose, you know what I mean? That we know these things. So that's why we keep trying to educate our people and make them aware of what is happening. But like I tell you, we did several programs. And every time I come here, you're saying, well, the people are not responding, And I tell you, they will respond. Because what I'm trying to show you, brother Socrates, the conditions is here. You see what is happening in terms of the sluggishness in the economy. And this started from COVID. You understand? A lot of people is blaming, I'm not saying the government is not wasting a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. The government is not the primary cause of the sluggishness in this economy. It started from COVID. But the local politics, all the government do is blaming Timothy for everything. They're not on the other side. What I'm saying, the government is not explaining the real situation that is facing us. Neither the opposition. So what we got is the pot calling the kettle black politics.
What in your mind is the real problem affecting us?
The real problem is that, our people, they don't have the proper understanding in terms when it comes of geopolitics. We just like in a box, right? And we have the government, we have the opposition, and they keep blaming one another for the situation.
So that's the primary cause. How do we change that mindset overnight?
No, we can't change it over. It's a process. That's why I keep telling you. It ain't going to just happen just like that. But what I'm trying to show you, as things get more serious, because what's happening now between Iran and Israel going to make things more difficult for us. It's going to put more pressure on us.
Yep.
So as more pressure come on our people, we have no other alternative but to come together as one. Marcus Garvey said, when everything else failed to organize the people, the conditions will, and the conditions are here. And we've seen it transpire every day. So even though the politicians want to keep playing us, they're going to play their own self.
It's a center frame.
Yeah, they're gonna play their own self. Okay. So I'm saying to you,
can go back and forth on this because I play devil advocate for reasons, right? But I want to hear more what I want to present because he's our guest. So
yes, I also want to add to this, right? If you take a lion out of Africa and bring it into the West, or bring a lion into the West in St. Kitts, could you call that lion now a giraffe because it's in St. Kitts? It's still a lion, right? Because it came over here as a lion. So that's where...
Not even that, Jackiah. Wait a minute. So is a kitty shall know?
That's what I'm trying to say. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You understand me? So there, you talk about where the root cause of the problem is. And there's where we have to go, where the root cause of the problem is. Now, the mindset of the individuals in the West needs to change. And it needs to change in this way. We need to start to see ourselves as Africans.
Identify as.
As Africans. Not identify only, because we are Africans.
It comes down to identity.
Most natural.
It comes down to identity. Right?
Yes.
A few weeks ago up here, I went to Nigeria. Well, you want to Nigeria for this and that and that. I am so happy with the moment. I'm told over the weekend we had a flight that came directly in here.
Exactly.
I want to speak about those connections because there's synergies.
Yeah.
To have to fly to London to get to Ghana. I went to Ghana last year.
It's a straight flight it was, yeah.
I understand that. But these are the things result-driven. Because a lot of folks, oh yes, we can do this. How long was the flight? Blah, blah, blah. Because I went to saw, it took me 2 days. These are the things we need to push because they're result-driven. You're seeing the fruits of what's happening. That collaboration, that's what we want. People will jump on the moving train. They're not going to push it.
Well, as you wait, you want to continue, Jackass?
I want to just read quickly here to educate the people of their own rights. You understand me? And the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 13 states, everyone has the right to freedom of movement and reside within the borders of each state. 2, everyone has the right to leave any country, including his own, and return to his country. So you see that part right there? You have the right to leave any country, including his own. Now you're going to call St. Kitts your own. And return to his country, which now you know that you're African.
So we left Africa how many years ago? 100 years ago? So we have the right. That's what you're saying?
Still have the right.
Okay.
You still have the right.
I got you. Okay. We are at the moment where we must take a pause once again to credit our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
We're back. We're back. And we're in a very exciting and, I would say, educated conversation. The brother, your name again?
Priest Jermaine.
Priest?
Jermaine.
Jermaine, you're from the USVI, and you're here with Rascalonda, and you're talking about people having a right to leave their country and go back to it. So, okay, continue, friend, please.
Yeah, so what I was basically saying is that you have that right, you understand? And through your country official, like go back to the representative again for St. Kitts, the foreign minister, you understand me? If you have citizens within your country, like for instance, in our Congress, we talk about reparations and repatriation. The only way for you now within your jurisdiction is to petition the people who represent you in your jurisdiction. Now, if they're not representing you, where do you go next? That's the big question. Because they're not rightfully representing us here in St. Kitts. So here it is now, you have African nations that are reaching out to us in the 6th region, which is called the diaspora right now, in African diaspora over here in the 6th region. So what I'm saying is now, we also now could individually leave this place, go to Africa and get citizenship. Basically, that's what I'm saying.
Sign me up. That's all I'm saying. Sign me up.
But that's why you see we're holding these rallies and mobilizing our people. Because, for instance, right, I talk about the Pan-African wallet before, right? And basically, what is happening is that the Pan-African wallet now, Burkina Faso have gold, Mali have gold, Niger have gold.
You talking about my inheritance? Is my inheritance?
Have gold.
You talking about my inheritance? Is my inheritance?
Exactly, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
yes. Right? A cooperative. Because an individual could do that. But let's say we pool our monies together and send it as a collective to boost the Pan-African wallet, right? Where we'll be backed by gold. Because gold does not lose its value. You see what I'm saying? So then that will enable us now to have our own African currency. That was the whole plan of Muammar Gaddafi. That's why he was eliminated. He had the goal already. You understand? And the imperialist forces under the Obama administration, right, took him out. And Hillary Clinton, who was Secretary of State, she made a statement. We came, we saw, and he died. So we are saying now, a lot of people are saying now they're going to kill Abraham Traore. Right? Now, if they're killing, what is the consequences? Now, look at what is happening between Israel and Iran. The United States is saying that they're backing Israel. Well, we're backing the Sahel states, and we are saying if any harm come to any one of those leaders, we're going to shut down the global economy. Black people is all over the world. We call a general strike.
Do we have consensus in that?
Well, we'll spread the word. We had consensus in the sense that black people globally show solidarity with Abraham Traore on April 30th.
Exactly.
Some people you follow you so far. Some people can follow you so far. And then because of fear and own or the personal interest, they back away.
But here's what we intend to do about that. We are actually raising funds right now for me to actually go to Burkina Faso to do a fact-finding mission. This is not just talk. You understand me? We're going to make this happen in reality. So I'm going to put boots on the ground in Burkina Faso, spend at least a month in Burkina Faso, and gather the information that is necessary.
Answer the questions that people have.
Exactly.
I was in Ghana February last year. And had a wonderful time because you travel with enough funds to sustain you during your vacation, etc., etc. Beyond that, it bothered me to see that professionals, example, a chef in a major hotel, he gets 1,200 cedis a month. That's 100 US. So being able to go there and sustain oneself is a whole different ball game. So the fact finding mission that you want to go on is very important because people need to know what skill set I need to have when I get there. It's not like going back home and you're welcome with the fattest calf because you're the prodigal son. Beyond that, you have to be able to sustain yourself, perhaps a family, etc., assimilate into that society. It's a great feeling to be able to go back, but give the option to go back and forth and help build. You need to go and be able to contribute. Mm-hmm. What funds can you bring? What skill set can you help to build and rebuild? Mm-hmm. So there's that train of thought. Why do you want to go back there? And because of the images that have been given us about Africa and the poverty, this and that, a lot of us have bought it. I went there, had the most wonderful time, but it pained me to see how our people are still being exploited by a major corporation. Exactly. A chef in a hotel works for about 100 US a month. 7 of us went to a lunch party one day, 7 persons to lunch, Jamaican restaurants. And the bill was $700 CDs. For 7 persons, 700 CDs.
That's 100 each.
Yeah, but I'm saying for a chef to work for that. So going back to Africa, we have to take into consideration all the realities.
All the ramifications.
Yes.
Yeah, the realities.
So
that
I'm
is
in
there.
support of Brother Abraham. I love what he's doing. It's long overdue. It's unfortunate that Mandela was played. We talk about behind every great man, there's a great woman, Winnie. Look what they did to Winnie. She took the battle forward when he was compromised, and when he came out, he was forced to drop her because he was radical.
Radical, yeah.
So we have all these things we have to address. But I am first and foremost African who don't agree with it as a business. So I support this. I'm being proud of my people. I was well embraced. I stopped them from bowing to me. Yeah, let's fist pump.
Yeah.
Got the force to bow. No. I'm wanting you to let's fist pump and we have the camaraderie. So this I am comfortable with. I will support it at any level and any given time.
Yeah, because what I'm saying, Brother Socrates, we're at a crossroads again. Right? And what you got to understand now, the imperialist system, the capitalist system is in serious crisis. So what they're doing now, they're looking to reconfigure, right, their system in order to keep exploiting us.
They have the biggest military in the world. I understand people power, right? But we as African people, we don't have that military might to counter, right?
But what
go ahead.
What we have is population. What I'm saying to you, there's 50 million black people in the United States. Once they don't move, not move.
The numbers still don't work for us when you have a system like what happened still existing in South Africa. 7%.
It's just that the ANC has not took the land. But what I'm saying to you, listen what I'm saying to you. Just in the United States alone, if the 50 million black people don't move, the economy must collapse. Now, just for one day. We ain't saying that just deal. We're saying globally. When we put out the call, if any harm come to any leaders in the Sahel states, we don't have to use violence because that's what they want us to do. We just show solidarity by staying home.
We have a call on the line. Good day, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good day, Socrates.
Good to hear your voice again, sir.
Good day to your guest. Yeah.
Yes.
The problem I have, right? I understand the passion of your guest and so on, and he's very consistent with what he's been saying. But achieving the kind of unification that he's talked about ain't gonna happen anytime soon. And so, what I think we should be concentrating more on is our little places, wherever they may be, okay, that black people live, trying to make those places as livable, as thriving, as exemplary as possible. Because we are not. You cannot point me to a place which all the black nations, or you talk about the 50 million blacks, can look up, can point to and say, there is an example of great governance that all of us should be emulating. You can't. With all the talk, for instance, of Burkina Faso, the fact is they are doing some good things, but right now, not in a democratic way.
Wait, hold up, 1 minute. 1 minute. What you mean in a democratic way?
Let him finish.
Okay.
He's good. Go ahead, sir.
What I'm saying is, unless you have some form of elections, there is absolutely no way to say that the government is by popular claim. Okay? They can be doing lots of good. But if they're doing so much good, don't you think if there was an election that they'll win by a landslide? That's what I mean about a democratic way.
Let me know when you finish.
Right. Okay, so what I'm saying is we should concentrate, let's say even here, let's start here in our own situation. You mentioned the fact that the opposition and the government, they're essentially the same. And that's unfortunate, because that means that the people don't have much of a choice.
Representation.
Yes. Okay? Because there are things right now that the current opposition should be challenging, but they're not. What they're doing is basically biding their time and waiting until they get to their turn is at the crease. Okay? And essentially, that suggests they're going to be doing the same things. But that ain't going to take us forward, All right? So we need a different kind of people, and I disagree that this thing in our local situation should take any length of time. All it means is for people to elect good people. We know, we can look at their record, we can vet our candidates better, right? At the very least, we should say, well, if you've been in power and you messed up, then give somebody else a chance. And that applies across the board, okay? Because we have too much recycling of politicians, really, all right? And that is why things always, the status quo don't change, all right? We need renewal, all right? So I'm saying start here. Show us that St. Kitts and Nevis can be the example to black people everywhere of good governance and accountability and openness and transparency and economic development and social, economic, political, and social development. We can provide the example rather than going outside at first to try to get it, because I don't think nobody going to come from outside and tell us how to govern St. Kitts and Nevis. And while any links with Africa is good, certainly looking eastwards is good, right? But they must go beyond being symbolic, go beyond the little flight somewhere and so on, right? You need tangible and sustained connections between the two, and unfortunately we don't see that yet. It's a start, yes.
Okay, got you.
But I'm not sure we're in for sustaining that. Okay then.
Thank you for your point of view. In the interest of time, Wes, go ahead. Oh, anyway.
Oh yeah. He talk about democracy. Democracy is a farce.
The Westminster system.
I mean, look here.
Has been on the face of the earth forever, but that's a different story for the
Yeah. What I'm saying, right? When the settlers them came here, and in the Kalinagos, they had an election. They wiped them out.
But I'm looking at the clock. I could get into all with him.
But I want to address what he's saying, right? Mm-hmm. No, he's talking about our local party. That's why we're starting here. We're saying we got to unify our people and come up with revolutionary Pan-African ideas. Because he talk about the politicians, them, both in power and out of power. He's saying that those out of power just want to get to the crease. We're saying that is over. For instance, look at our situation in terms of food security. Abraham Traore are the leaders in the Sahel states. They're not in power 4 years. Abraham Traore bought 400 tractors for agriculture. No, Burkina Faso is
almost there.
Excuse me?
Almost there to be food efficient.
Yes. And we're selling food to other countries.
Guyana is actually also.
Okay, good. And now what we are saying basically now is that we're supposed to have our 2025.
25 by 25.
In CARICOM. They're putting it out to 2030. So, let me be real. We're talking, but we see in action.
So your response to him is that while we're waiting, we should wait and fix this. The time is right now to get on board and support the agenda of the African leaders who are showing that they're pushing off the yoke of the European colonization mindset.
Exactly,
because that election, that democratic system he's speaking about, Maurice Bishop had to fight that in Grenada on behalf of the people. And what England did, what Canada did, and the US did was say, well, because you overthrew a democratically elected government.
That is it.
People were suffering.
That is it.
His movement was popular, a bloodless coup. But they used that to say, well, once you rejected the system, you cannot be seen as a government. That's what our Gates is saying.
But brother Socrates, we have Haiti.
But that system doesn't work.
We have Haiti. Brother Aristide was democratically elected twice.
And they went in and took him out.
Kidnap him twice. So what you telling me? You know.
So it's a lot more involved, but I want to hear more what the brother have to say.
All right.
You and I dialogue all the time.
I want to address just quickly.
We're at the point of taking a quick break and come back, sir. All right? We'll do that right now.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Ready to save while you build? Now you can at Builders Paradise. Yes, shoppers, build up your Value Club points at Builders Paradise. That's right, Value Club members and shoppers, your favorite frequent buyer club is now available at the home of hardware and more. Whether you're laying tiles, painting walls, replacing doors, upgrading windows, or fixing up your home, every purchase at Builders Paradise now earns you Value Club points. Enjoy exclusive benefits like discounts on thousands of items, special savings for seniors, instant deals, quarterly rebates, plus an extra up to 2% off every quarter. Shop more, save more, earn more, only at Builders Paradise. Don't miss out. Start building your rewards today with Value Club at Builders Paradise, because every bolt, board, and brush brings you closer to bigger, better savings. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, you must know yourself. We are back. Caught us in the middle of a... Yeah, you just made a point there, all right? Welcome back to Voices. We got about 60 minutes to go before close the play, so it's short. We're going to make it sweet, right? We're responding to what, the views of our last caller about recognizing governments as being democratic. If not, they're not really should be part of the conversation. I have an issue with that, but then that's a different story for a different time. But guys, continue, please. You're here to present some point of view.
All right, we just mentioned about 2025.
25 by 25.
You understand me? Mm-hmm. Well, let me highlight 25 things that are taking place right now in Burkina Faso. 25 massive projects transforming Burkina Faso. Right now, they have number one, a tomato processing factory, cultivating agribusiness. One of the flagship agricultural projects is the tomato processing factory located in Bobo de Lasso. 2, the gold bar refinery adding value to natural resources. Burkina Faso is the 4th largest gold producer in Africa, yet historically most of its gold was exported in raw form for refining abroad. The construction of a gold bar refinery marks a turning point. 3, a military uniform and textile manufacturing plant to equip national defense and create jobs in the textile industry. I watched a video just like how you just stated. The whole judicial system, they rearrange how the people them dress. Mm-hmm. Now they're dressing as African. They take that white wig off of them head
wig
and throw that aside.
Some years ago, I watched, it was opening day for the Supreme Court, and the lawyers marched from the St. George's Anglican Church in their wigs.
Exactly.
In the heat of the sun, down to the circles. I'm thinking, how stupid are you?
And that shows you directly that you're still in the hands of the colonial master and their mindset.
A white wig, a black man.
All right, talk to me in a time like this. Number 4, a national cement factory, reducing reliance on imported construction materials. 5, a national pharmaceutical production center, enhancing local production of essential drugs and medical supplies. 6. Strategic Grain Reserve Program for food security and price stabilization. 7. Solar energy farms to provide clean, sustainable energy and reduce power outage. 8. Water catchment and purification system, improving access to clean drinking water in rural communities. 9. Road and railway network expansion, facilitating international and regional trade. 10. Youth Entrepreneurship Hub, supporting innovation and local enterprise development. 11. National Digital Infrastructure Development, bridging the digital divide. 12. Agro-industrial park in every region, transforming raw crops production into value-added products. 13. State-led housing projects addressing urban housing shortages. 14. Livestock feed and meat producing plants, creating a robust livestock value chain. 15. Local motorbike assembly plant, promoting domestic manufacturing of popular transport modes. 16. National Bank for Investment and Development, financing local enterprise and industries. 17. Public transportation system modernization, increasing mobility and connectivity. 18. Woman-led agricultural cooperative initiative, promoting gender inclusion in rural economies. 19. National AI and Robotics Center, investing in future-ready technologies. 20. National education infrastructure expansion, building schools and technical colleges. 21. Rural electrification program, extending electricity to off-grid communities. 22. Local fertilizer and pesticide production, reducing agricultural input dependency. 23. National irrigation scheme for year-round farming, countering drought and improving yield. 24. National Aviation School and Airport expansion, enhancing domestic and international connectivity. And last but not least, my favorite, 25, the establishment of a National Strategic Investment Fund, NSIF, designing to consolidate state ownership in critical sectors and supporting long-term national projects. Give thanks.
You just listed the last as being your favorite. My favorite, and each and every one is important,
yes,
is the investment in pharmaceuticals. Your own medicine, because it's so important. It's been a strategy of the West to go in there with their viruses under the pretext that they're aiding the people and spreading their epidemics. So being able to control your own medicine, you create it and you serve your people, I think that's so fundamentally important.
Yeah.
Right? All the other stuff is great, but if you have to depend on the enemy to bring in your medicine to heal your people from things that they create, you got a problem.
Exactly. Because what you don't control could be used against you.
Right.
Simple as that.
Right.
You know?
So my question is, is it the second and last Friday of each month?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to be around, but these are information that you share with the public?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, all the different platforms.
So we have platforms.
Yeah,
we're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Yes, we are.
Quickly, Dr. Emmanuel was an educator at what was then called the College of the Virgin Islands. He wasn't happy with the curriculum. He took a sabbatical, went to Africa, spent 5 years. When he came back and continued to teach, within the first week or two, One the logo. They send him home. Stop him from teaching. Because what he brought back was the actual history of Africa. And they use the excuse because the students would be crying in his classrooms. And when they would leave his classroom, the first white people they catch was blows. And so they used that to sideline him. They paid him to stay home and not to teach.
We have an example in Brother Walter Rodney. In Jamaica, all he did was talk to people. The Prime Minister at the time labeled him the most dangerous man in Jamaica, and he had never even take up a knife.
We got about 8 minutes to go. Right? You guys just share information.
Yeah, well, basically, I want to read the statement here, right? Message from the Secretary General of the CRDP. Valiant people of Burkina Faso, comrades, activists, and supporters of the CRDP. In its triumphant march towards the horizon of happiness, our people have always been aware of the obstacles of all kinds that stands and will stand in its way. Indeed, international imperialism, Western and American, and its national allies, who have been seen as plunderers of public funds and our country's mineral resources, who once opposed the revolutionary process initiated on August 4, 1983 by the CNR under the leadership of the late Captain Thomas Sankara, will once again remain hostile to our progressive and popular revolution proclaimed by the MPSR-2 under the leadership of Combat President Captain Ibrahim Traore. Fervent defenders of the interests acquired through the allegiance to imperialist powers, they will not cease to plot and intrigue against our people to reconquer their lost paradise. Faced with these vomits of the counter-revolution, there is also the language of struggle, the implacable struggle of the revolutionary people. This is why on April 30th, 2025, the convergence of revolutionaries for the defense of the fatherland calls on its activists and sympathizers, the patriotic people of Burkina Faso, the Pan-African youth, and all revolutionaries around the world to mobilize as one, to denounce and block the road to any attempt to destabilize our country and those of the AES orchestrated by the enemies of independent and prosperous Africa, to give all our unwavering support to the MPSR2, to the progressive and popular revolution, the substrate of our national sovereignty, and to any policy aimed at a sovereign Africa. In Burkina Faso, Africa, and elsewhere in the world, let's make April 30th Africa Resistance Day for a free and dignified Africa. Homeland or dead, we will win.
Okay. I want to say before we go any further, hello to Rosemary Donald. She logged on in New York, and she does commend. Every time you're on, she learns something from us. She likes to hear from you. So she's logged on. She'll just let me know. So hi, Rose. And I also say hi to Bag of Sugar for me. Also, there's Amber Lewis over in Anguilla. They actually log in. So we covered around the globe.
But I'd just like to give a what you said, the sister name?
Rosemary Donald.
Rosemary Donald. Give thanks, sister. The struggle continues, because what we are saying that at this particular time we have to consolidate our forces. And that is what is scary in Babylon. Because when they started turn out for Brother Ibrahim Traore on April 30th, they had to change the strategy. You see, they remove Langley.
Yes.
You see?
I was going to go into that, Mr. because we only have a short time at one, you know what I mean? So, you guys,
Priest Jermaine.
Priest Jermaine, we got about 4 minutes. Just feed us with information.
Yes.
So, 2 minutes per person. And,
Yes, I just want to reiterate again, our mission is to Burkina Faso, and we're looking for donations, well wishes, anything that you could give, for I to actually put boots on the ground and do the fact-finding mission. As you know, we're not hearing nothing from the politicians concerning what's taking place in Africa. So I also want to give thanks for the technology at this present time, you know, where you could actually see things in live and actual moment that is happening. So, you know, just to reiterate again, the mega meeting of Africa First and the AES SKN in support of Abraham Toure, AES Africa. The next event is on the 27th of June, and it will start from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the African Village, the Circus Bar Stair, St. Kitts. For more information, call 668-1992 every second and last Friday of the month. And I also want to give a shout out quickly to my wife in New York who is listening right now, Empress Cindy, and my dad, also David Henry, who is in New York, and they're both listening and online. So
Wonderful.
give thanks.
Wonderful. Family is the most important thing. We have to say us.
Yeah, well,
next Friday is what?
No.
Friday coming, is that the second?
No. The 27th.
Okay, I'll be back.
Yeah. What I'm saying, the Friday gone, we had the first one.
Okay. I'll be going to Antigua on Friday. I'm conducting a Calypso judging workshop over the weekend. I'll be back on the Monday.
Yeah.
Not in time to do the program, so there'll be another person. But for that one, I should be there.
So what we just want, like to end with what Granny say. What Granny say, self-esteem. What Granny say, self-respect. What Granny say, self-determination. What Granny say, African people have to unite. The brother, the caller calling and saying we should build where we are. That's what we're doing. We're educating our people so that we could bring all of our people together.
We're building minds first.
You see what I'm saying? So it's an educational process. And Brother Socrates, he said that I am always consistent because I'm confident.
I understand what he's saying.
Yeah, I'm confident.
And he's respectful of what you're doing.
Yeah.
But he's speaking about all the other realities there that people tend to overlook.
I agree. But what I'm saying, I am confident, as His Imperial Majesty said, we are confident in the victory of good over evil. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. When you're building a house, you have to have a foundation. But people want it to happen just like that.
You guys are the Asa guys. You're the tip of the spear. And you're so fundamentally important because people tend to brush things off the shoulder and in my business. So is your job, what was this guy there in the wilderness for so many years preaching?
Who that?
Some Bible character. He's preached for like 40 years in the wilderness before we listen to him.
Oh, yeah.
So even take no.
Okay.
It takes a while to get him out of the people, but eventually
That will
he'll
come.
get it. Right? Because if you use the tools that are readily available to you, in terms of the technology you mentioned, the invention is there.
Exactly.
You don't have to wait on the BBC or CNN version. Use these, go to other platforms and better edify yourself. I want to thank you for using the platform of winnfm to get your message out once again. It's been a pleasure having you here. I hope there can be future episodes where we can best have this dialogue and better inform, educate, and reach our people across the globe, right? It's been my pleasure. It's another day. It's Monday the 16th, and we are at the end of another presentation of Voices. I want to wish all within our purview peace, love, and a much better tomorrow.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.